Yo, it's your boy Logos, and today I want to react to a story from the Daily Mail where a UK student was scolded by the teacher because she could clearly understand that people identifying as cats are mentally insane. And I guess his teacher wanted to be woke or socially sensitive or whatever, so she had the nerve to scold this student and be more concerned about people identify as cats than reality, or talking to this girl like she is somebody that has sense, clearly. I don't get how you could scold somebody for saying that people who identify as cats is crazy or it doesn't make sense. But I'm not surprised it's gotten this far because years ago, it was like a moderator on Twitch.tv who I think identified as like a cat or a fairy or some type of mythical creature. Either way, it was clear mental illness, but even still, you had people letting it happen. That person exercised moderation and control over the platform because of their views about identity and this, that, and the other. And if you disagree with them, you are likely to be banned or kicked off the platform. And it's absolutely sad that certain people have this control or this way of thinking and it can influence other people on it. It's sad that these teachers want to talk about identity and sexuality and all this weird stuff instead of focusing on teaching, arithmetic, reading, writing. I don't understand why you need to talk about sexuality, whether it's heterosexual or homosexual or whatever else you think is out there. You shouldn't be talking about that to kids. Leave that stuff alone. Stay in your lane. But honestly, once again, I'm not surprised. I've said it over and over again, but I continue to say it. Some of the same people that you saw marching in the streets, losing their minds, screaming, fighting people over a disagreement or opinion, those same people, some of them, are now teaching your children. And they're going to push this ideology and this mental illness on them, no matter if they're 3 years old, 13, or 18. They have drag queen story time. They have people exposing their private parts to little children. It's absolutely insane and disgusting. But people will still defend it because they probably mental ill, just like them. I can't really, I don't know, try to feel sorry for people who do this type of stuff because you can make your own decisions when you're an adult. But when you have children involved, I really think you're a piece of shit. You're a predator. You're a person that grooms them. You're all those things. And I don't understand how people can defend a lifestyle of or a choice where you have kids mutilating themselves or talking about sexuality and gender, but they can't even write their whole name out clearly. They can't even do multiplication. But somehow they can make life-changing decisions to their body. It's sick. But let's listen to this audio.
How dare you? You just really upset someone. Saying things like should be in an asylum.
I didn't say that.
I didn't say that. What the fuck?
I just said if they want to identify as a cat or something, then they're like genuinely unwell.
Then they've gone
they're
mentally
crazy.
unstable.
Yeah.
You were questioning their identity.
I wasn't a question. I was just saying about the gender. I haven't said anything about them.
But where did you get this idea from that there's only two genders?
I just think it's
there
my
is.
opinion.
That is my opinion.
If I
There is
respect
only
their
two.
opinion, can't they respect my
It
opinion?
is not an opinion.
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
but
It's not an opinion you
There's
can
only
have.
Yes, loads of people think there's only two genders.
There's only a boy and a girl.
Literally. There's
Female,
no other
male.
private part. There's only two.
Gender is not linked to do with not linked
There
to
is
the
only two
parts that
genders.
you were born with. Gender is about how you identify, which is what I said right from the very beginning of
Yeah,
the
no, I just don't
lesson.
agree with
Yeah.
that. So why
Yeah.
do I have to listen to them? I don't agree with it.
Biological sex, there is actually three biological sexes because you can be born intersex. You can be born with male and female body parts or
I'm so glad she said this BS because when this does happen, oftentimes people, the parents, decide on the gender for the child, and it's either man or woman, boy or girl. They don't live their whole life being in between or whatever. So I hate when these people try to come up with these weird 1%, 0.5% cases and say that's the same for everybody, or that's evidence for the whole population, or that's evidence for the whole weird gender theory that they went to college for, they got brainwashed with in college. It makes absolutely no sense. And then oftentimes with that stuff, you do have sometimes gender dysmorphia because their parents might have chose a different body than they actually are on the inside. And that actually makes sense because they were born with both parts and then the mother and father made that decision. But the only reason they made that decision because they had both. They didn't have any idea how it would turn out to be. That's not the same in this case with transgender. And that definitely had nothing to do with identify as a fairy or a cat or a sheep or a dragon or none of this bullshit I have to hear on Twitter or TikTok all the time.
Hormones.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah, there's 3. There's not 300.
Doesn't mean.
Yeah, there's 3. I'm talking about biological sex. In terms of gender, there are lots of genders.
No, they're not.
There is transgender. There is agender, people that don't believe they have a gender at all.
Yeah, but you can't have that.
No, you can't have that. It's not a law.
Yeah, but it's not a law, but it's our opinion. We just don't agree with it. We just think it's all just.
If you have a vagina, you're a girl. If you have a penis, you're a boy.
Yeah.
But cisgender is not necessarily the way to.
Listen here. It'll be a cold day in hell before I say I'm cisgender. I am a man. I have the chromosomes of a male. This whole cisgender thing is ridiculous. It's just nothing more than trying to, I don't know, create a whole nother category to try to substantiate what they're making up with all these 78, 89,000 genders. It's BS. I'm not cisgender. If you're listening to this, you're not cisgender. You're just normal. There you go. I said it. I said the evil word. You're normal. Jesus Christ.
To be. You were talking about the fact that
Everybody want to be
cisgender
special
is
for some
the norm,
bullshit.
that you identify with the gender of the sexual order that you're born with, or you're with. That's basically what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is really despicable.
How?
If I called my mum right now, my mum would
Same.
feel myself.
If I call my mum, she'd say.
Well, that's very sad as well then.
How is it?
Loads of people agree with it. There's only a small majority of people who actually think that.
And why do you think we have so many problems in the world with homophobia?
Homophobia.
Because
That's
of
not
people
homophobia,
expressing.
that's gender.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm
it
fine
is.
with lesbians and gay people.
Same.
Exactly.
against
People are
it.
so
That's the
stupid.
same.
But gender,
How did these year 8? I don't know how old that is because I don't live in Europe. I've never been to Britain. I definitely never been to a British school system. Year 8, I want to say 8th grade. They sound like teenagers a little bit. They sound definitely a lot older than I originally thought. But year 8, I don't know what, 13, 15, 16 years old. But either way, they sound to have a lot more sense than the teacher that's teaching them. That's why she should stay in her lane about whatever she went to college for. Math, science, I don't give a damn. Just don't talk about gender or sex.
there is a link between it, and you're saying that people
There
can't
isn't
change.
one. No, they
who
It's a
want to
cult.
be.
They can't. Unless you
You're
get a
so
penis
wrong.
attached. No, I'm not.
You're confusing sex and gender.
No, I'm not though. Because
Yes,
if you have a
you are.
vagina, you're a girl. If you have a penis, you're a boy.
Yeah, you can't have a vagina and be a girl, but then
Gender
if
is
Unless you
identify
get
as
surgery, and even then,
Gender
because
is
you've got
about
those genes.
how you identity.
I just
How you
don't agree with
identify.
it.
Yeah,
But
listen.
it's not an opinion
Yes,
that we're
it is.
expressing
Yes,
in
it
this
is.
school.
Yes,
No,
Yes,
it's
it
not.
is.
If you don't like it, you need to go to a different school.
Whoa.
So
I did go.
Bitch, you just a teacher. Who the hell are you to tell somebody that they should just go to a different school because they disagree with you about gender? Gender. Some bullshit that they made up in the past, what, 5 or 10 years that they indoctrinated you with at college or around your social circle or whatever. Like, these girls should be kicked out of school for that because your feelings upset. You probably not even trans. That's a crazy thing too when you look at them. These people who go to so ridiculous length to defend transgender people and say they just like everybody else, or they just like men, or we just like women, or whatever. They're not even transgender themselves. They be right night and they acting like they're in some type of crusade. And honestly, it seems like half the time it just makes up their whole identity. That's probably why they get so upset, because when you attack them, or when you're not attacking them, you're just talking about their idea, their belief about transgenderism. You disagree. They take it so personally because they attach it to them. They rope themselves in with it. They got like a vest of social warrior identity with it, and it's sad.
I'm reporting. We need to have a proper educational conversation about equality, diversity, and inclusion.
Diversity.
Because I'm not having that expressed in my lesson. When I'm teaching you about you can be who you want to be,
Everyone else
how
thinks
you
it.
identify is up to
So
you.
Everyone else thinks it, they just don't say it because then all
Yeah.
this happens.
Maybe because they're polite, and maybe they're sensitive.
I haven't said anything in all of the lessons I've been in. It's just because they turned around and started saying something. So I said, how can you identify as a cat when you're a girl?
Well,
Yeah.
they're now writing a statement. I would imagine that you'll be asked to write a statement as well.
We will.
Yeah, we will.
Good on them. Okay, the bullshit. Okay, so they encourage them to ask questions, engage in discussion. Are you going to do anything about your teacher? And this tells you my whole problem with the whole school system. We are committed to offering our pupils an inclusive education. That's not what I'm there for. I'm there for you to educate my child, or if I'm the student, I'm there to get taught the stuff about school that's going to be related to my actual life, not your politics, not your social views. I don't care. I genuinely couldn't give a fuck. Why are you talking about kids? Or why are you talking to kids about this stuff? You're not their parent. You're not a psychologist. You're just a teacher. Be a teacher. Mm-mm. It's truly sad because it really seems like they're not going to do anything to that teacher. They're worried about reviewing our processes. Okay, that sounds like a BS corporate type excuse to save like public, I don't know, relations or something, or to not piss off any more parents. Either way, I don't think it's ever right to say that teachers shouldn't be having this conversation, that teacher will be disciplined and this won't happen again. But y'all more worried about inclusion. I'm telling you, man, if you can afford to have your kids be in a private school, or you could teach them at home, I really don't blame you because this is absurd. And I can understand why people nowadays saying, excuse me, people saying they don't want the government teaching their kids or they don't like government involvement because at this point, it don't even seem like they can do the bare minimum, which is focus on the topics they're assigned or paid to teach. All this other nonsense about politics or social views or social justice or gender or all this woke stuff, like that's not what you're there for. I don't get it because you shouldn't be talking about religion or politics, but somehow you can talk about gender, sexuality, sex, body parts, and all this stuff. Like, really? You can have this debate back and forth with children about it. Like, come on, man, grow up. This is ridiculous. These people think they're crusaders, but they really just look sad to me. I really can't agree with a teacher telling people there's all these different genders and this, that, and the other. What you should do is not allow people to be bullied, beat up, or anything like that because of people don't like them or disagree with them. But at the same time, you shouldn't be telling people nonsense or push your own views on them. I don't know why gender has to be talked about at all. This shit shouldn't be pushed in any type of way. If you see somebody getting picked on or getting punched or getting jumped over this stuff, of course you step in so somebody or nobody can get hurt. Nobody has to go to the nurse or go to the hospital. But in terms of your views, how you feel about it, leave it at home. Nobody cares. That's what you paid for. And clearly that's not what the students want to listen to. And I'm happy to see this stuff is happening more and more often, where the students are talking back or going against it, speaking out, and at least voicing their displeasure. I remember some stuff happened the past couple of weeks, like a school in the United States, and they put on some LGBTQ type presentation or video, and the students were like booing this and this and the other. The teacher got upset. If I could find out, I'll probably do a reaction to it, but excuse me. Once again, I'm just happy to see students are actually sticking up for themselves. They didn't come to school to listen to this BS. Have your conversations at home. Nobody cares about it. You can go to your little coffee clubs. You can have your little LGBTQ meetings. Have those conversations there, but with children, no. Like, don't be a pedo. Don't be a groomer. Have some class. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. It's your boy Logos, and I'll see you next time. Peace.